Another nerdy video for the day is, if you don't know, the greatest anime of all time is Dragon Ball Z.
Questionable.
Second greatest anime of all time is One Piece. Also debatable. But we're not here for your opinion. We're here to give you top fives of our... Just really just dab on them?
Dab the 5 on it.
Alright, well, anyway.
Technically top 10, but 5.
5. So, I mean, but yeah. So, these are our top 5 devil fruit users in the anime One Piece. So, I'll go ahead and let Mr. Maple here take his top 5 out. You actually wrote a list?
You damn right. Gotta come prepared.
Oh yeah, and the twist of this video is, as well, as we have not told each other what our top 5s are. So I'm also equally as surprised as you.
Yeah, we never really discussed it. Literally, I sat for maybe 10 minutes writing a list because it's something I never thought about.
Me too. I kind of BS'd it, but this is our top 5s, and we have not told each other. And I also wrote a list.
Also, a loophole. I didn't have time to really put it in order, so it's not really in order. It's not really top 5 in order. It's just top 5.
Top 5.
If you ask me, these are the names I'm going to say every time, no particular order. Kind of a little.
But they're still your top 5, your top 5 faves.
Yeah.
Top 5 faves, Devil Fruit users, in One Piece. Go.
Number 1 is Trafalgar Law, the Apop fruit.
Respect. Why?
1, I like to help people. Never thought about being a doctor, but use it to help people. You can use it offensively, defensively. He has the whole, room shambles.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
But what I also like about it too is how it you still can teleport. Which is completely what a doctor doesn't do.
But the downside to the whole teleport thing, you have to have a replacement.
Well, yes, that is true. You have to have in contact with the replacement and a certain radius, a range. You have to be within a certain distance, and he can, teleport to the opposite room. Change, basically an operation room, change sides, becoming the doctor versus the patient. Really? Okay, all right.
Being able to chop people up while they're still living. It's also, plus they feel no pain whatsoever.
Exactly.
I never had surgery, but I've gone and get shots and stuff. And I'm like, this is going to hurt.
This is going to suck. What you got next?
All right. So we're just going straight down?
Just go do it. We're going ham right now.
Number 2, Flame Fruit.
Fucking done.
But this is why I said this was
done.
Flame Fruit, but it had to be Ace. Some people are like, well, Sabo has it now. Spoiler alert if you don't watch the show, sorry. Ace. I like Ace with Flame Fruit.
Well, to be fair, at the same time, even if fans were to go watch it right now, you didn't really see much of either user getting to use the fruit. And also being a Logia user, which basically means a Logia user, his or her body becomes the element that they have consumed. Thus being Flame, his body is actually flames. Now, not necessarily flame on like the Human Torch, but he can cut them on and off, which means bullets, guns, punches, kicks cannot penetrate his body, or you cannot hit him. You would literally punch through him, kick through him, possibly burned in the process. Same with guns and knives. So even if you were to try to use a weapon on him, it wouldn't work, and he or she has the control over that. If they want to get hit by you, they'll allow it. Yeah. Also, the only way to touch a Logia user is through an ability called Haki. And there's 3 of those, but that's another video.
I'm about to say, are you really going to sit here and explain
No,
that?
I'm not going to explain that, but just leave a clip.
There's also an object called Sea Prism.
Sea Prism stones, yeah.
That you can use, but again, that's another
These guys and girls can eat this fruit, this devil fruit, but here's the funny part. They lose the ability to swim.
So all you beach lovers out there. You can still go to the beach, but once your body, you can.
Can't get in the water.
don't fully
Don't
submerge
it.
Don't fully submerge your body.
Don't do it.
Yeah, so don't risk it. I mean, you can still take showers and whatnot.
Don't do it.
It was like, you can't get in water, so I'm gonna walk around stink. Nah, you can still take showers.
I still wouldn't do it.
You can still go to pools, but don't fully submerge your body, because if you just go head first into a pool, you're just gonna sink.
Do you have like a specific moment though, with Ace with the devil fruit?
Oh, the war when Luffy finally freed him. It was kind of like Sendoku was like, shoot now! And everybody shot their bazookas and guns and stuff, and it was a big explosion. Then all of a sudden, you just see Ace's chains drop because his brother saved him. And then you just see Whitebeard's insignia. He made Whitebeard's insignia with the flames.
That was dope. I will admit, that was a dope moment when the brothers reunited. That was cool. That
was cool.
Feels moment. Feels moment, for sure.
So that was definitely, like, top moment. I mean, of course, that was the last moment. But we're not going to get on that.
Side tangent. Well, there are going to be descriptions of the fruit and, the Flare Flare fruit is probably one of the most iconic fruits besides the main character's fruit and his ability.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his brother.
Because by all means, disclaimer, I mean, you can have the strongest fruit, but if you can't master it or know how to use it, it's pointless.
Useless.
So,
Number 3.
Number 3 is the Rumble Rumble fruit. Do you know who that is?
Rumble Rumble. Rumble Rumble. Rumble Rumble. If you say it, I'll probably remember.
Rumble Rumble fruit is, I don't know the Japanese name, but Inaru. It's the power to control lightning.
Oh, yeah. I never knew it was called Rumble Rumble, though. Or I probably forgot. I'm sorry. I'm not a real, hardcore One Piece fan, guys. But I didn't know it was Rumble Rumble in English? It's Rumble Rumble?
Yeah. I mean, they described it as, what's the sound that lightning makes? What
Rumble
lightning
Rumble.
Rumble, thunder rumble.
That's like a stomach fruit. What's wrong with your stomach, Rumble Rumble? I don't... okay. Why?
When I see Inaru, it kind of not even just Inaru, just the power itself, lightning. I mean, when you think of that as a non-anime fan, but just a fan of heroes, who comes to mind? Static Shock, Black Lightning. I mean, if you were fans of Static Shock and Black Lightning, then you'll be a fan of Inaru. Although he is a bad guy in this, I mean,
he does play a major key factor in the storyline, though.
Who doesn't want to control lightning?
For sure.
It's cool. Of course, it's nothing special. Again, like you said, being able to turn your body into electricity, nothing can touch you. Nothing really special there. I just like the whole electricity aspect of it because I'm a big Static Shock and Black Lightning, and of course, my man Shazam. Lightning.
I didn't wear my superhero shirt, but I'm cool.
Number 4, the Hoya Hoya no Mi. I couldn't find. Well, I found the English translation, but the English translation is Puff Puff. It's the Puff Puff fruit. And no clue, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. This is a fruit used by Daifuku, one of Big Mom's sons. Again, that's a whole nother video because she had a bunch of kids.
Pass.
Pretty much what his power is, he rubs his stomach and a buff genie comes out and fights. If I knew how to, put snippets in, which if I figure it out, I will show you how that works.
Your next assignment, what you need to do. Gosh.
But yeah, he rubs his stomach and a big genie comes out. And back to what he was saying earlier about Haki, this genie has Haki, which is called armament. His body is from head to toe, what would you call it? Armor. Mm-hmm. So he has in full body armor genie that comes out of his stomach and fights. And it's not like a spirit or a ghost or anything. It's a physical genie that fights by his side.
Physical genie. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, but I'm sorry, but you weren't a kick-ass fighting genie.
Yeah.
You're still funny though, I love you.
That was just more of a cool thing.
I was about to say a cool thing, kind of.
Yeah, a cool thing.
I got one of those on my list too, but for sure.
Just just think real life here. You're about to get in a fight. You're at a bar. Some guys is messing with you. To be able to rub your stomach and just automatically have an ally just right there by your side, just at the spur of the moment, kind of cool.
This is also a devil fruit that's been recently introduced, so there's still speculation behind it, like the wishing factor, if that's still a thing.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been confirmed and it hasn't been gone through yet, but I agree, it's still
a cool
badass.
Yeah. And just imagine if you're already a badass fighter yourself, being able to kick ass and call upon someone that can also kick ass. Yeah, you're going to jail. I'm just saying. You're a walking weapon. I mean, devil fruits are literally a walking weapon, but just real life aspect. Like, you're already like a kick ass fighter, then you just call upon another kick ass fighter.
Stop it. I'm okay. All
right. But number 5, and this one I can relate to because of who I am as a person. Not really emotional, mental thing, but just type of person I am. Is the castle fruit, who is being used by Beijing, who is
Beijing
Capone. Yeah, definitely got to say that.
Yes, I'm saying
he literally is a mob boss. He has
literally the name. Yeah.
His right hand man. His name is Vito, which is kind of cool. I
think his full name is Don Vito, or like
it's Don Vito.
It's Don Vito, not Viva La Bam related, but it's Vito. Like Don. The Don. Go talk to the Don over here. Hey.
But Beijing Capone, they call him Father. He's the leader of the Fire Tank Pirates. Literally mafia.
This fruit, I gotta admit, I'm kind of okay. Spoiler, it's not on my list, but this ability is pretty badass. Yeah. Pretty badass.
And I said it hits me personally because I'm into anything mafia related.
When you hate your wife and you just want to build a fortress and get away from her,
right? Like he can literally turn and he's a walking fortress. Like he can stand still.
Exactly.
And let's put it this way: his army lives inside of him. Army, horses, weapons, all live inside of him. He's a walking fortress.
Exactly.
And
and that's also Indo and Exo. So like, as far as like an exoskeleton, he can make like an exo like skeleton of himself as a castle with still his original body intact inside the castle, and vice versa. He can put he is an actual castle within his living self, and his allies stay in it. So it's insane. It's like, imagine if a whole ant colony, was in like the queen ant, all right, and she can just activate like a fortress, like an ant pile whenever she wanted, and then also the ant pile still lived in her. Now I know it's the queen, she births all the ants, but still, imagine having them called on your command, like the war ants, trooper ants, scouter ants, like just having whatever you want at your disposal, boom, right there. That's a good one. I'm kind of a little mad it's not on my list.
Downside to it, when he does make himself a fortress, he's impenetrable, but if by chance you were to destroy this exoskeleton, he does die. And anything inside of him is automatically kicked out. So just imagine if you just load yourself up. You have this fruit and
Can't all be winners.
You load yourself up with like 100 horses, like 10,000 men, like years worth of ammunition and weapons, and you turn into a castle, someone destroys it, you die. All that is kicked out of your body. So,
you got an honorable mention?
I do have an honorable mention.
No one cares!
I care.
Well.
I care. Shut your mouth. Honorable mention is someone who I hope we see in the show more. We haven't heard much from him, but it's X Drake. X Drake has the power to like literally.
Done.
Done. Well, while he's gone, I'm going to finish my explanation.
You know what?
X Drake.
Tell him what he does. Tell them what he does. Tell him what he does.
I'm going to tell him what he does.
Explain why he's not that great. Bathroom break.
Yeah. X Drake has the fruit which is a zone type fruit, which a zone is being able to turn into an animal. So with this fruit, you can turn to any, let's say, mythical, prehistoric creature that existed. His is a T-Rex. And like you said, it doesn't sound too great, but just being able to turn into a dinosaur is pretty awesome. And on top of that, he is a decent swordsman. I'm a big fan of melee type weapons, so anybody working with a sword like Law, there's a character called Vista, Mihawk, who is the strongest swordsman in the show, but
now that booty garbage is out of the way there. Now we can get to the real list. And I don't care what he was saying about me.
No, I was actually explaining it, but then I got quiet and I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to cut this out.
Yeah, whatever. My top 5 is way cooler.
Weak list.
Oh, wow, I wrote that one down. I didn't think I did.
Excuse me for being prepared. Following yours up, throwing it away and stuff.
No. First of all, number 5. Probably the most, I feel, underrated character in the show, and he's actually part of the main character's pirate crew, because this show is all about pirates, is number 5, the human fruit. Owner by Tony Chopper, who is the ship's doctor. And to make it funny, he is a reindeer with a blue nose. So some cute cuddly stuff there, but he literally is a doctor. He handles all these medicines, antibiotics. He went for 2 years in training in another community, civilization, where it was up in the skies, and he found new plants cure certain diseases and certain habits and things like that. And he also is very intelligent and very smart. And just like the name human, he's a reindeer, so he learns how to walk on 2 feet, and he speaks. He talks. He can interact. He actually is equivalent to a toddler, because I think reindeers, or just deers in general, don't have a long lifespan. They age very quickly. So he's now in the series equivalent to an 8-year-old child. So he does keep the show funny and quirky and things like that. But when it's time to throw hands, he can actually turn into a giant Sasquatch, reindeer, a good 2-3 stories tall, and get down to business.
And that's just one of
his forms. He's also developed a certain drug that can allow him to amplify his abilities because, well, he's an animal. Animals brain waves and muscle tissues and fibers and things like that, just like humans, but limited. So him converting into more a human form takes a little more oomph. Since he's a reindeer, it's a little more limited for him versus probably a human who would eat a human fruit, would just amplify their human abilities. Maybe even tap into more brain-like abilities, tapping into a certain percentage of the brain. And I think that's speculation what his abilities allow him to do. Tapping into certain parts of the human brain, or his brain developing to amplify things like muscle fibers, size, muscle density. His intelligence is also increasing as well. But that's my number 5 pick, and I just feel like he's an underrated character in the show. So, number 4, the Phoenix fruit. Marco, baby. Marco. Just like the name says. Phoenix. See, there's all these different classes of fruits. See, you have Paramecian, you have Logia, and you have Animal. But the Animal breaks into 3 different classes. Animal, which is also the human, or dog.
What a classification was Zone? I already explained.
Oh, Zoan?
Yes.
Zoan. Well, no, you have 2 Zoans, though. You have mythical animal Zoan, and you have ancient animal Zoan.
Oh, I said prehistoric.
Or prehistoric or ancient. Same thing. Well, this is mythical, and just like the name being, he's a phoenix. Are you kidding me? Yes, that's badass.
Honestly, did not think of him.
Yeah, dude.
I did not.
Dude. He was talking about earlier with the guy Flame Fruit. They're part of the same crew, the Whitebeard Pirates, and it's divided into 10 divisions.
Yes, 10 divisions.
10 divisions, and this is the second in command of the whole Whitebeard ship. If Whitebeard were to die,
it's Whitebeard.
It's Marco.
Marco under him, and then it's Ace under Marco.
Mm-hmm. So Marco basically just like he inherits all of his powers from this fruit, which is a phoenix. He can turn into a phoenix. He can acquire the flames from a phoenix. He can heal. He can increase his speeds as well. Fly. The powers are still limited as well, and we've only got to see it for a brief moment. But I fell in love with the character immediately because this guy is just extremely powerful. And, spoiler alert, that Whitebeard has passed. He is in charge of the Whitebeard Pirates. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited where the anime is going and to see Marco again and to see if we can see any new abilities or just fan theories that we have already, like, in action.
And to also just add in a little, little tidbit. Marco stood toe-to-toe with an admiral, which the way the hierarchy of the Marines go.
The military, yeah.
It kind of goes as, just not to make this long. If you can get past the admirals, it's kind of like, oh, man, what are we going to do now? And Marco stood toe-to-toe with an admiral.
Exactly. An admiral is basically like the equivalent to like, how most people look at it is like a 5-year-old trying to pick a fight with an adult. But Marco, is another adult.
Yeah.
Like the admirals are just put on this pedestal, and you don't mess with the admirals. And he went toe to toe with all of them, really.
Yeah. It was a brief moment, but at the same time, it was kind of like, they got a hit on Marco. Marco was like, yeah, I'm a Phoenix, so that really didn't do much.
Exactly. and so that's my number 4. My number 3, and, like I said, we were going to have a similar one on the list. I got to go with the Op fruit, my boy Law.
Dude, Law's amazing.
Law is nasty. Law is nasty with it. I mean, the guy is literally a surgical technician at your disposal. The guy can take body parts off of you, literally. He can reach into your chest, grab your heart out if he wanted to, and just hold it. You're still going to be breathing, but he has it in his hand, which actually is going on in the anime right now. He does have someone's heart that he gave to Capone.
Yep.
And he's Capone's bitch now. Because of that ability. And
he keeps asking for his heart back.
Yeah.
Like, can I have my heart back, please?
Yeah, please.
Falls out. Yeah, if you squeeze it or if you stab the heart, the person does die.
Just feel it. Yeah. So that, I don't really need to go into more detail with Law, but Law is a very, very, very liked character, very lovable character, very powerful character, and an ally of the main character, Monkey D. Luffy.
Spoiler, just to give you an idea of how badass this guy is. We have warlords. And to become a warlord, you either have to be, noticed by the Marines, or you have to deliver the hearts of 100 pirates to the Marines. Law took the route of delivering 100 hearts to the Marines in a crate. But the thing is, with his power, the hearts were still beating. So somewhere there's 100 pirates that are walking around like, I have no heart. Where is it? Yeah, the Marines have it in a crate, probably in a freezer somewhere at the headquarters.
It's kind of spooky, but at the same time, it's so powerful.
It's like who takes the time to do that?
So powerful. But
matter of fact, on the black market, it's the most, like, as far as the anime goes, it's the most expensive fruit. Because you want to go ahead and just, the Apok fruit can grant immortality.
It can. But the user has to do it for another, and I believe dies?
Yeah, they die.
They die. So Law can grant someone else immortality, but not himself. Like, there's downsides to these devil fruits for sure.
Yeah.
But that's my number 3 spot. And so now we're going to jump into number 2, which I feel like, man, dude, this guy was he's a villain, super powerful. I feel like, he's touched base with the anime from the very beginning.
It's funny because we're doing this and it's like,
we don't know.
We're thinking like a villain that's touched base since the beginning, but go ahead.
Okay. But this guy, man, I mean, dude, this guy would totally fit in an 80s rock video. I mean, no one rocks a feather boa better than Doflamingo, baby. The string fruit. The string fruit. This guy literally was part of a civilization of humans known as the Celestial Dragons, which are basically higher, basically we'll call them the rich in our society, in our world. And basically they don't talk to commoners. They are their own society. You are beneath them and they are above you, and that's the way it is. And Doflamingo went through a horrible childhood because the Celestial Dragons kicked him and his family out because kicked him out after the fact that his dad resigned being going from riches beyond belief, comfortable living. You don't have to do anything at all for the rest of your life. Just be a spoiled rich you know what. And his dad was like, I don't want to be part of that no more. Me and my kids are out. Me and the wifey are out. We're leaving. So the Celestial Dragons, all right, bye. But you can't keep your Celestial Dragon title. You're a commoner now. You're trash. Sends Doflamingo into a rage, which as a child taps into the ability Haki, and also creates his own pirate crew with his brother and many others. And I mean, the string fruit, okay? This guy literally, oh my god. Imagine if Hitler could put a string dome over you and you have nowhere to go and you have to obey his wishes or die.
So you're talking about North Korea?
Sorry, did I say Hitler? Korea. If Korea had a dome over you and you were not allowed to get... Oh, wait, that's what happened. Not a dome, but I think a wall. Yeah, anyway, he can manipulate strings just like the name. He can send them at mass volume. He can also skid across the air on these strings. It looks like he's flying, but he's really jumping off projectile strings. And I mean strings you cannot see. Like hair, like strings. I mean, you name it. He can also project them so fast that they can have heat come off of them and pierce through you. Also, cladding them in armament Haki, like we were talking about before. Haki can also be projected through objects. So he uses this and is able to create an impenetrable dome over this kingdom called Dressrosa. And he wants everyone there to die. Because a couple pirates pissed him off.
Yeah, but he can also control people.
Yeah, he can also control, literally puppeteer.
Like you're sitting there saying, no, I don't want to do it, but you're just sitting there.
Puppeteer. He literally does that with, like, throwing up gang signs with his hands. And he also, what else was it? He's tapped into the true ability of a Devil Fruit, which is called Awakening, which is like the second phase of the Devil Fruit abilities. Now, all Devil Fruits have them, but it's very hard for someone to master them, and he's done it. And he's the only person we've seen that's done it and mastered it. So, with that being said, he can literally turn anything into strings and use it as a weapon. I mean, he's battling the main character, Luffy, and Luffy's fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, but he's literally touch strings, puppeteer. Fight my strings. He doesn't have to move. He doesn't have to do anything.
Oh, and
making a projectile string version of himself that can still physically fight, like a clone, like a doppelganger, and that can still fight for him, but it's not the real body, which is amazing. And I just feel like the ability is so overpowered. And when it got cut short, because the villain's got to lose at the end of the day. Spoiler. I mean. Such a great ability, and I feel like there's so many things that could be done with it that we haven't seen, and that's my number 2. But my number 1...
You're probably thinking, if you went like this on number 2, I can imagine number 1.
My number 1, and I feel like this is another ability. I mean, this is an ability that it grew on me. I had to kind of watch it over and over again, and he actually became one of my favorite characters of the anime. Bartholomew, barrier fruit.
I thought you were about to say Kuma.
Neo, barrier fruit. This guy can literally project impenetrable barriers and make an inanimate object out of it, like a car, a bull, whatever you want. And it's a barrier. You literally cannot penetrate it at all. What I like about this character is not only his Devil Fruit ability, but his devotion and honor towards the main character and his crew. Bartholomew is just like, or Bardo for short, he looks like an 80s like punk rock guy. I like his
Yeah.
character. I mean,
Got
tongue
the
out like
grease up,
it's like
grease up.
Slayer shit.
His
like,
hairstyle is
he screams
almost.
80s.
It looks like Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
You know the Jim Carrey movie.
He
His hair is
screams
gelled up
80s.
like
I
that.
mean, nose ring, mascara. He's got the sharp teeth. He's all instead of going like
The
this,
checker
though,
pants.
he's like he has to keep his fingers crossed in order for the barrier to be intact. That's the only way to use this ability, though. So I'm excited to see maybe later on he kind of like twist his tongue, or maybe like I don't know, twist a toe so he can keep both of his barriers on both hands. But the same thing with Doflamingo. Imagine Dressrosa, instead of strings, it's an actual barrier. I mean, there's many things that this guy can do. And also, I would like to see, because, you know, if the barrier is impenetrable, like they say, see, these guys are not allowed to touch water, and neither are their abilities. I would like to see if the barrier can be penetrated by, well, salt water, because that's what affects all Devil Fruit users. And also, what I like about this guy is he admires the main character, Monkey D. Luffy, so much that he actually has, like, a finishing move named after, like, one of Luffy's moves.
Yeah.
Luffy's moves is Jet Pistol, which basically, Luffy's made of rubber, gum fruit, and it's kind of funny neither one of us picked the main character. It's just cliche.
Yeah,
it's just
really
cliche, to
cliche.
be fair. And, you know, we don't want to do that, so we're just picking all these other, like, badass abilities these guys have. But Luffy's made of rubber, and he has a move called Jet Pistol, or Gum Jet Pistol, and he just throws his arm back far as he can and stretches it and then hits you. Well, Bartholomew has seen the move in action before, and he's like, he's literally admiring Luffy. He's like, well, barrier pistol, and just boom! Like, imagine having like a cinder block as a
Pretty
fist,
much what it is.
as a fist. And someone's just like, yo, you talking shit? Yeah, I am. Boom! That's just what it is. And it's just hardcore grit. It's just brutal.
You know what's scary, though?
What's that?
We already stated before how you can use hockey to manipulate things. The barrier is already impenetrable. What if he has the hockey to put armament around it?
That's my whole point. We haven't seen anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet.
That's crazy.
Like, it's insane.
Like, we've seen people try to break this barrier, in which the only way they found to do it, they looked up and they were like, oh, he couldn't put a top on it. Let's go in from the top. But it's already impenetrable. Then you're going to put armament hockey on top of that?
But now, for my honorable mention,
You have to yell at him.
the flare fruit, or excuse me, flame fruit.
I say flare, but when I was
Flare, flame on.
it's on fire.
And I just love the fruit in general. I don't need to go into details. It's fire. Duh. So those are our top 5 Devil Fruit users in the anime of One Piece. Let us know down below if you'd like to have any other videos that we should do later on. We just got really bored.
Let us know your favorite.
Let us know your favorite. Give us an idea. Give us a shout out. Anything you want to talk about. That's what this channel is about. Okay?
And it's not always going to be One Piece. Sometimes we'll talk about
LeBron James.
I'm the GOAT.
LeBron James.
Peace.